And just like that, we're back. These weeks are happening very quickly and they are stressing me out. We're already episode 5. So welcome to I Swear to Junk, I'm Not God. And we have Kirrah here.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
Yay. It's
so
me.
Exciting. And I was like, yay, so exciting. She doesn't know what we're talking about.
I never do.
And I like it.
Vibes only.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about Sam Little. Do you know who that is?
Absolutely not.
Okay. He is the most prolific serial killer in the US of A.
Okay.
For this episode, I listened to Behold the Monster, Confronting America's Most Prolific Serial Killer by Gillian Lauren. And I watched this documentary called The 93 Victims of Sam Little. So you already know this about
93 victims?
Yeah, that's wild.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Documentary is on Travel, Discovery, ID, whatever it's called now. I don't know. Like, I'm so sick of the rebrands. Like, just stick to something.
I'm going to start calling everybody Nickelodeon. I think that's the easiest way. Nickelodeon 1, 2, and 3.
Now, Gillian Lauren conducted an extensive investigation into Sam Little. She interviewed him for over 40 hours while he was in prison. Now, we also know that white folks tend to be well known for their serial killing, but Little was black. He was a brother. And he was very dangerous. This was an awful experience for me.
What?
This sucked. He's considered the most prolific because he claimed over 90 murders, but he also consistently slipped through the cracks. He sought out mostly Black women, sex workers, and women with drug issues. So he's a douche. And, socially marginalized women. There were white ones and Latino ones mixed up in there too, but mostly people he knew that nobody was going to care about. So the story, as told by Gillian Lauren, is based on her interviews with him. So a lot of this information is Little's own account. So take it with a grain of salt, because that nigga may be lying. If I were to think of my past episode... if I were to think of my old episodes, I would say he's a mix between Carl Panzram and the Grim Sleeper. Carl Panzram is terrible, right?
Like, they're both awful.
Yeah, and Sam Little is his black cousin.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, so the poison on this episode is actually called The Road Trip. I found it, and it is basically cognac, rye whiskey, creme de cassis, which is basically a black currant liqueur, 1 bar spoon of lingonberry preserves, which is wild. I've only done that once where I put jelly in a drink, and that was a lot. But I think this is actually worth a try. 1 ounce of lemon juice, granulated sugar for the rim, kosher salt for the rim. Your girl loves a hybrid rim. That's what I call it. The mixture of salt. Have you ever had that on a lemon drop?
No, I don't put anything on my rim anymore. It makes me bloated.
Oh, that's facts. Okay, that's true. I will say that I started doing it because I went to Travail once and they were like making a margarita right before they made my lemon drop.
Okay.
So it was a mixture of salt and sugar on the rim, and it was phenomenal. And when you ask for it, it's just not the same because now they're intentional about it. You know what I mean? Like, they try to do like half sugar, half salt, but it's like, nah, it needs to be a mix of the two. You know what I mean? It's got to be like, oop, trip fail, a little bit of salt. It can't be like a full salt, because then you just got a lot of salt.
The way everything in me would puff up. Like, I'd be like Mrs. Puff from SpongeBob.
The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Like, I would just immediately expand outward.
Yeah. Or what's baby girl from Willy Wonka?
Yeah, like, well, it's not Veruca Salt. Violet.
Violet.
Violet. You turn into Violet. What if I am?
He was like a balloon, like a blueberry. Now, okay, so you combine equal parts salt and sugar, and then you obviously rim that. That sounds disgusting.
Fist it. See how that goes.
On a chilled serving glass. And then you add all the ingredients into a cocktail shaker with ice and you shake hard for 20 seconds because it's got preserves in it. You don't want chunks of jelly in your cocktail.
Oh, that sounds awful.
You strain it into a cocktail glass and then you garnish with a lemon. Or don't, because you know how I am about wasting fruit. Not in this economy.
Wasting fruit? Sometimes you need that break in the acidity.
Nah.
Okay.
Do it if you want to, because I'm going to tell you, not with these grocery prices. You save your lemon.
I sometimes take that lemon and put it in my water.
Period. Yeah, like if you're gonna recycle it, that's different. But don't be just like, oh, I garnish and then throw it away every time you make a cocktail.
Oh,
that's
no.
So wasteful.
When I get berries in a like garnished as a cocktail, I eat them.
Yeah,
which I think you should.
Oh my God, or like maraschino cherries, like people who get rid
those
of the
are
cherries,
delicious.
those are amazing. And I'm like, why are you like? Yeah, I know.
They're like, it's just the garnish. I'm like, yeah, but you don't eat the decoration.
Like Sal, he always gets dirty martinis, and watching him eat that olive makes me want to barf.
Olives are disgusting, and I can't wait until like the downfall of olives.
And he also likes blue cheese olives, so they are stuffed with rotted mold.
Double bile.
I can't stand blue cheese. I was just talking about that the
disgusting.
other day.
It tastes
so
like
nasty.
what you throw up. Like if you were to throw up and then eat it and then throw it back up and eat it again, that's blue cheese. And then if you throw up one more time and then eat it and put it in a blender after you throw it up, that's blue cheese olives.
Yeah. And I will say that, while I know that cheese is old milk, the fact that blue cheese is literally mold, I'm good. Like, what are we doing?
It's
and
also just...
And who was the first person who was like,
put this moldy cheese in here. Hey, Hey, what if, hold up.
Yeah. Good idea.
I'm finna do this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know it stink, but I'm gonna eat it anyway.
Basically.
You nasty bitch.
It's so nasty. It's
Y'all
the
are
worst
trifling.
thing.
Stop eating that.
Don't eat that.
Especially in a salad. Like you're really
like
ruining
feta?
the salad. I do love me some feta.
I can't do feta.
I quite enjoy feta.
That's more about texture than it is about it being moldy.
The Greek snapped with that one.
It's the crumbliness that I feel like it's just...
That's what I like.
I don't like the fact that it collapses.
That's what I like. It's like Parmesan.
Yeah, I'm good. That's like not, though.
Dried Parmesan is like
Dry
that.
Parmesan, yeah. But feta reminds me of those like styrofoam things that you get with your packages.
I used to like those. I didn't eat them because then I'd have bigger issues.
I was about to say, does this explain why you are the way you are?
That explains why I'm bad at math.
I used to swallow pennies.
That doesn't explain why you always so cold.
It's like my body is filled with copper. I literally, as a kid, used to eat pennies. That for some reason, which is disgusting.
That's
Change
gross.
is so dirty. But I was one of those kids. Like I was like, whatever. For some reason, I liked the copper taste. It's like when you lick a battery.
Your ass a vampire.
You heard me. It's like when you lick a battery.
That explains so much that's wrong with you.
You have put your tongue on a battery?
No.
Okay. All right. So we're going to move on.
How do you make it through the airport? You should get tackled every time you go through TSA.
That could be why I have diverticulitis. Because of
you be eating pennies?
Little do they know I got about $26 worth of pennies.
You got the Illinois lottery in your intestines.
The lower colon is filled with copper.
If somebody shake you, you just go...
I'd be like one of those Santas outside of
Dominic's.
Not
because not outside of yours, it don't hit the same.
What?
It only hit like that. The heavy buckets was outside
you
of
just
Dominic's.
aged yourself because Dominic's been closed for about 15 years.
And that's when the donations stopped hitting. When we lost
remember
Dominic's.
the donations at Service Merchandise?
Oh,
I know.
Shout out to the layaway.
Yeah, that was legit.
We've strayed far away from the mission.
No, we didn't because now we got Afterpay.
No, I mean in the storyline.
Oh, you're right.
No, we didn't, because now we got Afterpay. Now you see what kind of family this is.
Yeah, sorry. We done moved on to a whole other situation.
Oh, coughing.
That has nothing to do with Sam Little. None whatsoever.
Sam Little is a crazy name.
Yeah, that is. It's a wild name. Okay, so we're going to talk about it. We're going to start from the beginning like we always do. And I hope you enjoy the road trip. Not what I'm drinking, not what she's drinking, but I hope you drink it.
Because I'm drinking Hennessy Pure White and ginger ale out of a paper cup.
How was Mexico?
Bad Bunny.
Wait.
I saw Bad Bunny.
Oh, I was about to say, isn't he Puerto Rican?
Oh my God, why does everyone say that?
He is Puerto Rican.
He is Puerto Rican.
But you saw him in Mexico.
I saw him in Mexico.
How was that?
Phenomenal.
Okay.
Nothing but vibes.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what's being said. But it sounds so good. And like,
So
if
we
you
got
just
something
Google
to look
translate
forward
it.
to on the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would actually go see him.
I'm
at the Super
excited.
Bowl.
I'm excited for him to be on the Super Bowl.
I think it's great. People are going to be pissed.
Yeah. How was the Tim Burton Museum?
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
We went through twice. They had an option where you could, because it was like a maze and it's like every door is different.
So it was interactive.
Yeah. Like
That's
you go
so
through it. It was a
fun.
maze. So each room was a different Tim Burton movie.
Shut up.
It was very cute.
Why we don't got that? Tim Burton American. He ain't Mexican.
They really fuck with him in Mexico.
Oh.
I don't know, bro. I have yet to figure out why. But that building does not look like a pop-up. Like, I don't think it's going... There's paint out there.
Huh.
Like, I
You're
don't think they're going anywhere.
We live here.
And then we went to the Macho Libre.
What is that?
One of the Mexican
Oh, the wrestling. Yeah, you sent videos of that or pictures.
That wasn't a boomerang, by the way. That was just someone doing a back bend back and forth, back and forth.
Oh, so
That's the crazy part.
So is it like a circus?
It's not. It's literally like WWE.
Oh, okay.
But like every group is versus another group.
Oh.
So it's like three groups, 3 people versus another 3 people. And they
that's
just
cool.
fight and tap each other out. It's completely fake, but like the costumes are cool.
I just always think of that Jack Black movie that I never saw.
Nacho Libre?
Yeah.
I never saw that either, actually.
Yeah. I don't even know what it's about, but now I kind of have an idea.
I think of that Nickelodeon show, Mucho Libre,
Oh, got you.
which was like basically
Gotcha.
like that.
Yeah. Got
Very
you.
cute.
Well, that's cool that you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah.
I decided for my 40th year, I may go on a trip a quarter.
You should.
Yeah. Yeah. Instead of doing one big one, I'm already going to Antigua. So I'm going to do Antigua and then I'm going to pick 3 other places.
Good.
Yeah. I think it should be dope.
I'm
trying to be better about doing a weekend thing because we had fun in New York.
Yeah.
I mean, even though we didn't do everything that we could do in New York is not a weekend place.
I was going to say, you can't really do everything, especially not in summer. It's way too hot.
It's too high. By the time we got there, we were like, shoot me.
Yeah. Like
It rained too.
Yeah. It rained a couple of times
Yeah.
while we were there.
But we ate like a mug.
Yeah. Oh, well, one thing about me, I'm always going to eat.
But you know, I've just decided Chelsea is where I like to be.
Yeah.
I just being there, the cobblestones. I was like, oh, Chelsea is such a vibe.
I had never actually been to Chelsea before.
I only been to Chelsea because I used to have to go to the Law and Order office. But you know, I haven't been back. I haven't been taking that trip. I haven't been leaving the airport. I mean, I've been taking the trip, but I never leave the airport. I just go to New York, get lunch, and then come home.
Well, it is good for that. But
Yeah.
I do actually like going to Brooklyn. And when I work in Brooklyn, when I work in New York, I work in Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Or I work in Harlem, but I never get to actually see Harlem because I'm working
I've
there.
never been to no, that's a lie. I've been to Harlem.
I've been there, but like I didn't get to eat there.
I didn't get to eat there, and it was night. Like I come from Connecticut. And plopped myself down in Harlem and then just kind of like was in Harlem for like less than probably 12 hours because I had to go to the airport.
I have gotten my hair done in New York, and that is one of the best 2-strand twists I've ever had in my life.
You know what? Kind of think that maybe next time I go to New York, I'm gonna get my hair twisted.
It was so good to the point where I was like, I need to start figuring a way to come out to New York every month just to get my hair retwisted.
You know what's crazy? I kind of want to do lock extensions because my hair is not growing well, and I want to find somebody who's doing like a human hair extension. We are so off topic.
Yeah.
Sorry, but we'll talk about that. But I want to find somebody to do like a human hair extension that can make it really natural. Like I'm willing to fly to New York for that, for my 40th. Mm-hmm. For sure. Yeah.
I think you can definitely find somebody.
I also think I want to get my thighs done in Turkey.
Okay. That's not the same.
add that to my list of plastic surgery.
I mean, while we thinking about it, I was thinking about like getting my cheeks done.
Wait, why you need your cheeks done? You got a beautiful face.
I want this chiseled. I want this gone.
That's
of
all
this.
weight.
I need to go. Yeah, but I just rather cut it off.
Okay. Well, it may come back. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't want you to waste your money and then you're like, oh, damn. It
Yeah,
came back.
it could, but everything could come back. That's the
true.
problem with life.
If you're going to do it, then you need to do it while you're in your 30s, because if you wait until your 40s, the gravity going to tell
gravity
you all
gonna
the
fuck
way
me
up.
up.
Yeah. All right. Let's do this.
Hey, guys.
Hey, did you have a good time? You heard all our business. All right. Now we about to get into Sam Little's business. Now, Sam Little, his last name was also McDowell. And I'm going to explain that. He was born June 7th, 1940. What's that? Gemini?
Yeah.
Aha.
That's my sister's sign.
So we should know where this is going.
Whenever there is a serial killer, they're usually a Gemini or a Sagittarius. I'm going to start taking it personally because I get it.
There are very few of them that are Taurus. I just want to put that out there.
That's because y'all just keep everything bottled up.
Wow.
The thing is, we don't. And we just kill everyone instead.
We just think about murdering everybody.
Which I don't know is worse. Let's ask Chris Brown.
Whoa.
And one of my ex-boyfriends.
That's drugs. But
Both of them.
He was born June 7, 1940 in Reynolds, Georgia, to Paul McDowell and Bessie Mae Little.
Oh.
Now, this was far...
The name Bessie's so cute.
It's so cute. I got to show you that picture of Bessie Smith that I have that my high school classmate gave me. And I still have it.
High school?
Yeah.
I haven't seen that before?
Probably not.
Okay.
This was by far one of the shittiest origin stories I've ever read. I mean, Bessie Mae got pregnant at 15, 16 years old after being intimate with a 19-year-old neighborhood boy named Paul. And apparently Paul and his friends were running a tab on how many girls they could have sex with. So,
Okay.
Well, Bessie was living with her grandmother, Josephine, who was a midwife and kind of a bitch. I mean, like, seriously. Little had these very light eyes, like very and the Littles had it too. They were very similar to the rest of Bessie Mae's family, which they thought were a curse because the eyes, one, is a window to the soul, but two, because to them, the light, the fairness of the eyes was an indication of white rape.
Yikes.
Yeah. So she blamed Bessie for her mother's death because for her own mother's death. So Bessie was born and then her mother died when she had her. So the grandmother blamed her for that. And it's hard to tell if that was during childbirth or if it was like after childbirth, because of course, tale as old as time stories, but it's just hard to tell. But the book also mentions that Little's mother, Bessie, is actually the younger cousin of Earl Little Sr., who is the father of Malcolm X.
I was going to say Earl. That's Malcolm X.
Mm-hmm. Which could be true.
Another Sagittarius. Shout out to him. His birthday was last week.
Oh, R.I.P. Malcolm X. Which could be true.
What?
But ultimately, Bessie Mae could be carrying the Little name without a traceable paternal line. It's very possible that they were related, considering they're both from Reynolds, because Malcolm X's dad was from Reynolds as well. Now, if you've ever been Black and you had to look at the census record from the South, there's a lot of moving parts when you're looking at that.
Wait, did you say DMX or Malcolm X? Because now I'm confused.
You said Earl. That makes sense now.
Wait,
Earl
which
Simmons
Earl?
is DMX.
That's DMX.
Malcolm
Who were you
X.
talking about?
Malcolm X.
Oh, I do not know if he is a Sagittarius.
She smoked. She smoked.
I do not know.
She walked my dog and she smoked. I just want to put that on the record.
I'm glad I got that off my chest.
She said, "Did you say DMX or Malcolm X?"
I'm glad I got that off my chest.
DMX is definitely a Sag.
I would have been confused for the rest of the episode.
You're like, this man is related to DMX. No, Malcolm X was a Taurus.
Ah!
Wait, is May 19th Taurus? Or was that Gemini?
Oh, I don't know. I always forget that birthday. I think that's
because Tasir is May 15th. So I think the 20-something is Gemini.
Yeah, I think that's Taurus.
I'm sorry. That was funny. That just made my armpits hot, but that was funny. Like my armpit's on fire. Taurus. He's a Taurus.
Okay.
Oh, shout out to Malcolm X for being a Taurus.
Oh, great.
So the early 20th century Black Southern census records are inconsistent by design. Racism, weird family structures, an unreliable data collection. White census takers were to document households. They didn't care about the spelling of the names or the ages or the actual lineage. Like, they just didn't care. They would put a grandmother as a mother or a mother as a grandmother, and some children were taken in and given names as well. So it's messy. You know, they could be related to Malcolm or not, you know. Now, his mother, Bessie, was eventually kicked out of her home 6 months after giving birth. She was sick, cold, and weak. And the grandmother was against her having a child at such a young age. So she told her that she could return if she would come back without the child. That's messed up. Yeah, that's pretty messed up. She left and she crawled under a porch. Her baby was left in the cold and the rain to die. So later, the McDowells were delivered, different family, were delivered a child by a local hobo.
Okay.
He claimed that the child looked just like their youngest, Paul. And he was pale, he was hungry, and he would be taken in by the McDowells, but they never mentioned the fact that he was the child of Paul. They never mentioned that to Little. He continued to think that his parents were Paul's parents, Henry Sr. and Fanny. But eventually, Henry would move to Ohio for work, and 2 years later, he would send for the family. So they all started in what's the area called? I'm drunk. Georgia, in Reynolds, Georgia. They all started in Reynolds, Georgia, and then Henry sent for them when he got a job during the Second Great Migration in Ohio. So by 1945, Paul had come from Germany, his real dad, married and had more kids, continuing to avoid being a father to Little. Now, unfortunately, Fanny and Henry were starting to get old. They didn't always remember to feed Sam Little, and all his clothes were secondhand. That year, Little was he was molested by Uncle Jimmy. Now, here's the thing. This made me so mad because I was listening to this part when I was at work, and I literally had to pause because I was like, this is so disgusting. So Uncle Jimmy asked Sam if he was hungry, because he had been starving, and he proceeded to instruct him to orally satisfy him.
Ew.
Sam was 5.
Ew.
Fanny took care of him, but everyone else treated him poorly. They didn't even care if he came home or not. He started to hustle by stealing items and selling them to the dump, where he would get paid for what he would find. So as Little got older, he started to have feelings, particularly towards girls in the school, but no one explained sex to him because who would? But he just knew that looking at his teacher's neck made him feel things. This was at about 7.
Okay.
So fast forward to 1954. Little and a few of his friends, he's about 14, Little and a few of his friends decided to run away to Oberlin College. And this was more about freedom than anything else. They just, they wanted to run away real quick. When they arrived, the gang decided to steal a few bikes, and they were immediately arrested and sent to BIS. The BIS is the Boys Industrial School. It was a state-run reform school for juveniles. It was a little like a work camp, and it was supposed to be like for education and training, but it was more manual labor, strict discipline, and obedience. And for Black children, conditions were even harsher. Okay, it was racially segregated, and even when the institution claimed it was about reform, they didn't do anything, which is like, duh,
Yeah, I'm sure they did.
Now, apparently, and this is according to the book, the children were also used to hearing the screams of other children being raped. I really don't know what to say about that. I mean, I ain't got much to say about that, but apparently That was the thing. And the kids were just like grateful that it wasn't them.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Mm. So Little is in reform school. Sorry. And he's unruly. He ends up staying there for like 19 months. And when the usual term is usually about a year. So he stayed there 7 years longer than he was supposed to. He ends up, by the time he arrived home, this is messed up. I don't know why I laugh. But no one picked him up when they let him out, which is upsetting. By the time he arrived home, Little moved back in with Fanny and Henry Sr. Eventually, he learned that he was Paul's child, which kind of offered him an excuse to behave even worse. He was like, okay, well, so be it.
I'm finna make your life hell.
Mm-hmm. Sam Little and his granddad got into a fight. His dad actually hit him upside the head with a poker, which I think may have caused his brain to break a little bit. Because what you mean?
Why would you hit? And how old was he by then?
He would have been about 15.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Fanny pleaded for his life because, of course, Little was angry. He just found out his father isn't his father. Everybody else in the house knew already. They were like, nigga, duh. And he was like, what do you mean? And so eventually he learned the full story. Now he felt he had no one to impress anymore because no one cared for him. He's like, I ain't got no parents and I don't even know who y'all are. So
why did they let him even come back home? He would have just been better off on his own now.
Well, that was the thing is that Fanny and Henry, the grandparents didn't mind him being there. But it was actually one of Paul's kids that told him that you already know that he was your daddy. And he was like, shut up. And they were like, nah, seriously. He was like, seriously? Now, at this time, he's 15. He's starting to hit puberty. And with puberty came the True Detective magazines. Now, me and you talked about this on BTK. And I want to real quick briefly mention this because this came up in my Ed Gein episode as well. These magazines were a problem, honestly. As a lover of true crime, you know, I understand people's opinions about true crime. They feel like we over sensationalize it. It's too many networks and channels and everybody's talking about it in X, Y, and Z. It just makes the world feel like an awful place. But the True Detective magazines were different because they were pulp crime magazines that came out monthly. And the hook was that the stories portrayed in them were real and ripped from the headlines.
I want to see one of these.
Look it up. Just look up True Detective or true crime magazines of the 1950s. The audience was specifically working class men, soldiers, and commuters. And they would show these like painted covers of women in distress and shadows in the alleyway. But the inside was pretty graphic. It was always about selling units. So they would lie a lot. And then, oh, we're just trying to sell papers to keep up the drama. Like what? Now, True Detective magazines in the 1950s were entertainment marketed as fact. They sowed fear. They reinforced stereotypes, and they taught America how to consume crime as spectacle, which is very similar to how we treat true crime. But Little was coming of age in the 1940s and 50s. And this is exactly when True Detective style magazines were everywhere. We're talking about barbershops, bus stations, pool halls, and prisons.
Nigga, you need some tea?
I mean, what is happening? It's like, I've been talking all day. Now, Little learned that violence against marginalized women rarely triggered attention. I mean, the intense need to strangle developed even more. He was like, I really love necks.
Okay.
He was obsessed with the story of this woman named Gloria Ferry. She was a white woman. She was strangled after being kidnapped by Louis Statler, and he felt she had a beautiful neck. And that was young, 14, 15 years old, and you already like looking at people like that. This became his inspiration. Around 1957, Little was arrested for burglary in Ohio. He was sent to Ohio State Reformatory for 17 months, where he ran into an old juvie buddy named Wilbert. Wilbert was
they
now
finna fuck it up.
girl. Wilbert was now a boxing buddy. You know what that is?
Something scary.
Basically, Boxing Betty's a prison slang for a person who basically combines physical strength, fighting ability, and homosexuality as sexual dominance. So he's
a strong bottom.
Basically, he's a swole dude who likes it and will take it. I likes it and I won't.
That's so cool for him, though. I mean, he's having a blast, but he's someone's nightmare.
He did it, which is crazy because he did it as protection. It sounds like Carl's pants round.
Yeah, he can fuck somebody up.
Yeah. So around 1957, Little was arrested. I just read that. I'm tweaking. Now he was raped.
What? That's the beginning of the sentence?
Wilbur became a Boxing Betty because he was raped. He was gang raped by several dudes when he first entered the Ohio State Reformatory. He got stronger. So he bulked up. He beat them up one at a time and then forced them to suck his penis in public.
I know that's right.
Look.
He said,
you shouldn't have did what you did.
You shouldn't have bothered me.
Why did you gang rape that man?
You could have left people alone.
You could have left him alone. Now he's forced to do what he's got to do.
Hey, man.
And so that's sexual assault, by the way, but it's sexual assault both ways.
It's also just like boundaries.
It's the big payback.
Big boundaries.
So Little learned his boxing skills from him because he was like, I'm not going to call you Betty. I'm going to call you Wilbur. But you can still be my girl, though.
Not city girls.
And Wilbur, you're going to teach me how to fight. And he did. Little was one of the strongest fighters in the prison. He even boxed in tournaments at the prison. And in this facility, Little also learned that he had the passion for drawing. He was like, I could draw. He got out.
What is the connection?
There is no connection. He's just like, I'm talented so many ways. He got out in 1961 only to go back to OSR again for burglary by the following June.
Some people just like prison.
Some people just be in there because they like, look, I ain't got no home. I ain't got no family. I might as well.
He's like, in prison, I got a Boxing Betty.
Yeah, exactly. Like he can have as much sex as he want with Wilbur. They can fight. They can beat people up together. Hey, I'm winning.
I guess that's a perk.
And I got 3 hots in a cot. Now, this was around the time that Little realized that, I haven't had sex with a woman yet.
Oh, you could have kept it that way.
Now, Little was released in 1964. By 1965, Little was a 25-year-old virgin. He was, fine. He would finally get a job in a steel plant. He would finally try to have a normal life. Even continued boxing. He only knew how to prison box, though.
He's giving a fight club.
Yeah. He only knew how to prison box. He didn't know strategy. And so he would lose. And he decided, hey, I'm not going to box anymore. I don't like to lose. I'm a sore loser. This ain't going to work for me. So the same year, 1965, after showing up to a medical clinic with a wart on his finger, Little ran into Jackie Pellerin. And they married that year. And he tried having sex with her, but he couldn't really think about anything else but strangling her. So he was like,
I should probably be in jail.
Yeah. Now this made him feel bad because, she was really good to him. She cooked for him and took care of him. And eventually the marriage got stale because they stopped sleeping together altogether because he no longer wanted to kill her. And in my head, like, I hate to say this, but you're gay. You kind of gay.
You're forcing it. That's the thing. You don't actually want to be with this woman. You're like, this is kind of what I should do. I got a job as blue collar working man.
Yeah.
I'm out of prison now. I'm not enjoying myself, but this is the next step.
Yeah. And I can't be walking around with Betty.
Yeah. Like I clearly cannot be a top in public. So I must figure out other ways. And it's just not working out.
Right. And so around this time, this is when Little started bar hopping, looking for weed and women. And he runs into a white woman named Diane. Now, she takes him back to her place. It was pretty hot. It was pretty heavy until she told him the price. And Little got upset because he realized, wait a minute, now I'm supposed to pay? He was not going to pay. So he strangled her until she was almost unconscious and then released his grip when she realized he did not want to kill her. So he leaves and heads home to his wife. He's like, oops, didn't want to do that. So when he arrives home, he learns that he has been reported. She reported him.
No kidding.
So he takes his wife and their dog to Miami to stay with his mom. His mom, not Fanny, Bessie Mae, she's alive.
Okay. Where's she been?
It was now
She clearly has been in Florida.
Yeah. It was now 1966. He hadn't seen this woman since he was born in 1940, basically.
That's what she wanted.
Now, Little hadn't seen her over 20 years, but when she learned that her son was in jail, she wrote to tell him that she had a little inheritance and she could put him up in a rooming house that she managed. The only requirement was that Little and Jackie were to have a child, because that's necessary when you're a psychopath.
Why is that the ultimatum?
Why is that currency?
Like, I'll take care of you.
But pay me.
But you need to have a kid.
You need to have a baby.
First of all, if your mama needs to put you up somewhere, do you really think you need to be having kids?
She really wanted to take care of that kid because she never had a chance to take care of him.
Yeah,
That's
but
really
I
what
thought
it boils down to.
I thought she ain't want to take care of him.
She did want to take care of him. It was Josephine, her grandmama, that wanted him to die.
Oh,
That woman wanted him to die.
Well, I also feel like she shouldn't have allowed him to be hit upside the head at the age of whatever. But
That grandma said, leave him outside of the rain, face up.
not face up.
The expectation was that he was going to drown that way.
Jesus
Which
Christ.
I'm like, wow. Old black people back in the day were evil as hell.
Like,
Old
face up is
people, it's
nuts.
like, that's wild.
In the South, like a southern rain,
Yeah.
he would for sure drown.
Oh, yeah. It'd be a small tsunami. It would be terrible.
That's brutal, actually, for a newborn.
So this freak, and as in freak, I'm talking about Bessie, she drilled a hole through the door to keep an eye on the progress.
Give it a break.
One night, Sam came home after prowling the bars. He got into bed with his mother and sucked on her breast.
She's like, that's not what I meant.
He's 26.
You gotta be careful what you wish for.
Okay. Like, he was a baby, though. That is so gross. Now, this Meemaw moment was short-lived because when Little came back from a bar once, he was looking for a fight with his wife. So he threw scalding hot pot of gumbo on her and pretended to stab her with the handle of a knife while she was cooking. And after claiming to be joking and simultaneously scaring the shit out of everyone, Little,
Joking?
Yeah. He was like, I was just playing. What you mean? So Little told her to pack her things. They were heading back home. And Bessie Mae begged him to stay, but he left anyway. And when they arrived back in Ohio, they were greeted by the police because Little was finally arrested for assaulting Diane. Jackie's aunt had called the police on him. Diane had told the police that he broke into her house and assaulted her, but the evidence didn't match and the charges were dismissed because there was snow on her window ledge and the window ledge snow was undisturbed. So how did he break in? She didn't want to say she was hoeing. So what Little didn't know was that Jackie's mother had also arranged the divorce. Jackie was like,
can
nah.
she do that?
Apparently. Jackie, her mom saved her life.
Yeah.
Because,
I'm just surprised she actually did it.
Yeah, she arranged a divorce. So by 1966, he ended up in Baltimore, Maryland. He was arrested after being shot 5 times attempting to rob a liquor store. He was to serve 4 years, but was paroled in 1969 after serving roughly 3 years, yet again being booked and let out. He booked his Greyhound back to Mom's house in Coconut Grove, so he goes back to Bessie in Miami. He worked as a grave digger, and then he eventually got a job at the sanitation department. Still in Florida, 1972, he met 18 or 19-year-old black transgender woman in Miami. He remembered her name as Marianne or Marion and described her as about 5'6", 5'7", roughly 140 pounds. But according to Little, they first met at a bar called the Pool Palace. A few days later, they ran into each other again at a bar, and he offered her a ride home. And Little said Marianne lived with several roommates somewhere between Liberty City and Brownsville. After arriving at the residence, they went back out to go get a can of shaving cream because Marianne was like, hey, I'm a little embarrassed. I'm a little hairy. He was like, I really don't care. But she was like, no, I don't want to be intimate until I get this under control. So she asked her roommate, like, hey, do you got a can of hair remover? Because it's like a shaving cream. And it came in a can. And so Marianne, her roommate was like, nah, I ain't got none, but you should go to the store, go get you some. And so Marianne was like, all right, bet. So they get into Little's car. It's a gold 4-door Pontiac, Le Mans, which I don't even know what that looks like.
Okay.
And instead of returning, he killed her. Little continued to drive down the highway into the Everglades. He turned it onto a dirt road and he dumped her in the river or swamp.
Damn,
He dragged
she was
her.
trying to be considerate.
Right. She was like, I just wanted to remove my hair. The description of this scene was also very messed up because the can that she had in her hand was like a paint can. You know how you got to wedge a paint can open with a screwdriver? Well, it was like that. And she was trying to do it with her nail because he was starting to scare her. And so she was trying to do it with her nail. She ends up breaking her nail and is like bleeding. Then they start fighting in the car. And at that point, he overpowers her because he's huge. He's a former boxer. You know, I mean, like Sam Little was like 6'2", 200 pounds.
Oh.
And so he's, you know, she tries to break it open. She gets it open after breaking her nail off. Like her finger was bleeding and everything. And she throws the hair removal in his face.
Oh.
So
I was like, why is she trying to open this?
She even ran. Like she ran and she made it a distance, but he chased her and then he ended up catching her. And it was just awful.
With that shit in his face?
It was just awful.
He's a madman.
He was awful. Yeah, he was a douche. Now, it's interesting because his blatant disregard for women is so intense that he wants to kill them. But all he does in his entire life is rely on women. From breastfeeding at 25 to his old age when he's relying on Gillian Lauren, the author of the book. I mean, women everywhere, all the time, protecting him, feeding him, having sex with him, writing about him, becoming his victim, and ultimately catching him because he was also caught by a female detective, technically, and forever satisfying his appetite. And in 1972, Jean, her name was Aurelia Dorsey, but she went by Jean, would be in prison with Sam's girlfriend, Lucy Madero. And Lucy got arrested along with Sam for holding up the liquor store in Ohio. But Lucy later confided with Jean in their cell, telling her that she was going to end up taking the charge for the robbery. And when Jean was released, so was Lucy. And Sam ended up facing armed robbery and assault charges. So Jean visited Sam and told him that Lucy was turning state evidence on him. Lucy testified for the prosecution, but the jury voted to acquit.
Oh, okay.
He just always gets out.
I never understand that.
Jean was there in the courtroom that day. Turns out Jean was a pick-me-ass bitch and wanted Sam for herself. And Sam ended up hitching his cart to Jean. Jean would be his longtime girlfriend and take care of both of them because she was a chronic booster. So she made her living by stealing stuff. And she would later die of brain hemorrhage in 1988. Apparently, he didn't kill her. It was natural causes, but, you know.
Sure.
Anyway, whatever, Jean. Back to Marianne.
She's pointless.
Yeah, she's a doof. She's a goof. She was not his first kill, Marianne. He would later say his first kill was in 1970. It was a woman by the name of Mary Jo Brosley. She was killed around New Year's Day, 1971, near Miami. Little met Brosley. She was a 33-year-old mother of two at a bar. And Brosley was physically unwell. She had a limp from a hip surgery, and she had a missing fingertip. She was an alcoholic, and she was no longer in contact with her family. Little had this desire to strangle her while they were alone in his car. So he did. And when her body was discovered later by hunters, it was so badly decomposed that they could not identify her.
Jesus.
So here we are. Sam was just walking around strangling prostitutes. He was robbing and raping people. He was an absolute menace. But by 1975, he was arrested at least 26 times in 11 different states.
Why does he keep getting out?
For a cornucopia of crimes, by the way. Fraud, shoplifting, DUIs, armed robbery, aggravated assault. Despite dozens of arrests across the country, he rarely served long sentences and he constantly beat the charges. Even when victims survived, and identified him, prosecutors would give him lesser charges. They would acquit him, or they would barely even give him any jail time. And this is because the judges and the law enforcement felt that the victims had no credibility in some cases. He knew
What?
Yes, it's annoying. He knew very early on that people only look for who they care about. So marginalized women were the easiest targets. Prostitutes were very rarely interested in contacting authorities or even talking to authorities because they knew no one would believe them. Therefore, when it was time to go to court, they would fail to appear. This is something we talked about on all of my episodes about prostitutes, but specifically on the Grim Sleeper and Eileen Wuornos, which you were on. You need to check those out. The Grim Sleeper and Sam Little got away with it because they targeted women the system didn't protect, i.e. Wuornos.
Mm-hmm.
Being a prostitute is a very, very dangerous profession. And the intersectionality, too, of Black and female makes it 1,000 times worse. So fast forward to 1982. Little was arrested in Pascagoula, Mississippi for murder of Melina or Melinda, depending on your resource or your source, Rose LaPree.
Was he killing only Black prostitutes?
No. He had a few that were white, and the white ones are usually around the time he would get in trouble.
Oh, well, naturally.
So prosecution witnesses and 2 Black survivors identified him and said that he choked them the year before. But it wasn't until LaPree's murder, a white woman, that the police started to pay attention. And so now police suspected a serial strangler. And LaPree was also spotted by eyewitnesses. They said that they saw her get into a brown Pinto. But a grand jury decided to not indict him because racism and the victim's involvement in prostitution. They never heard testimony from the 2 surviving Black prostitutes either. But while investigating him, he was extradited to Florida to stand trial for the murder of another person named Patricia Ann Mount. She was a mentally disabled woman, and she was last seen leaving a bar with him. Again, witness testimony placed them together, forensic evidence, but the case collapsed.
Well, I'm surprised he keeps getting off, considering he is Black.
They don't show up. They don't show up to court.
Yeah.
They said the science was weak and there was missing witnesses. So Little was acquitted in 1984 and moved to California.
He just keeps leaving the state at that.
Hence why the drink is called the road trip. Same year in San Diego, he was charged with rape. Already, you just got there. And assault after getting caught strangling a woman in his back seat. They rolled up to his Black Thunderbird. And this was a month after he had already assaulted another woman in the back of his car in the same location. And she got away because she pretended like she was dead.
Wow. Well, that is an idea.
She survived. She played possum, and her name was Lori Barrows. She was 22. He went to jail for that, 2.5 years. Now, I'm not going to lie. This man was a demon. How he talked about the officers and about the women that he attacked. He could say things. He would say shit like, that bitch didn't give me my money's worth. She's going to give it to me or else.
Ooh, he's scary.
He would say to the cop, how's the bitch? Is she going to make it?
Jesus.
He was a literal flaming piece of shit. The taunting, the ego, the depraved sexual appetite, he would kind of move, kind of slick because he had light eyes. He wasn't a bad looking guy in the 70s. So
he's evil Michael Ealy.
Yeah, basically. And he literally had that look like people didn't think he was as dangerous as he was because they say he was incredibly charming, which most psychopaths are. He would be super nice and then he just wouldn't be nice anymore.
Because then he'd strangle you.
Yeah.
Because strangling isn't all that friendly.
Oh, and mind you, while he was strangling some of these people, a lot of these women, he didn't even rape. He was just strangling them. He would strangle them and then masturbate. He kind of had an asphyxiation issue like BTK, except his thing was that he liked to hang himself and wear pantyhose.
Okay. Honestly, men need to find more hobbies.
Yeah, like you learn to knit.
Crochet, even?
Crochet, paint. He started painting, but it was too late. Maybe you should,
you should paint before your brain snaps in half.
Do a 2,000 piece puzzle.
And exercise, any exercise that prevents you from strangling
people and molesting people. So anyway, Sam was paroled in 1987 after that.
Okay. He shouldn't. Okay.
He then made it to LA because he was in San Diego. He made it to LA where he continued to be absolutely terrible. He killed 10 more women in LA. Found strangled. Little was passing through the system over and over again because the people he hurt, they weren't even worthy of protection. Florida, of all places, had even warned the FBI of the women that were coming up strangled. And the FBI later acknowledged, they said, hey, we didn't meaningfully engage until decades after the killing stopped. So my bad. Like, y'all suck.
Everyone is awful.
So, I mean, this is just a failure. This is systemic failure. So let's keep going ahead to 1994. 7 years later, the body of Denise Christie Brothers of Texas in a town called Odessa shows up. She had been strangled and left in the ditch. Now, the police had already known who she was because she was known by the police. But let's put a pin in that real quick, because the same year, DNA is now a thing. And CODIS is has started in 1990, and it was definitely a new thing after Congress approved that it was okay to use it for convicted felons. So you can maintain a database. This was by like 1994. So they were like, wait a minute, we need to use this for our cold cases. But it wouldn't be until 2012. I said 1994. So it wouldn't be until 2012. Yes. 18 years later, the Cold Case Crime Unit's detective, Mitzi Roberts in LA, was going through old files, testing what they could get matches on, like different perpetrators, when they got 2 hits on Sam Little, 2 murders in LA in the late 1980s. Guadalupe Apodaca in 1989, 46 years old. She was strangled after being raped.
And how old was he by then?
2012. He was born 1940.
Oh.
Yeah.
He doing too much.
He is. Like 2000, but this is the rape though was in the 80s.
Yeah.
So he would have been in his 40s in the 80s.
Still doing too much.
But yeah, by 2012, he's in his 70s.
Yeah.
So he goes, she's raped, she's strangled, she was raped, and then Little left her in an abandoned body shop. He kneeled on her chest, and strangled her until she had a seizure.
Oh, that sounds awful.
Then Audrey Nelson in 1989, she was 35, met him in LA, and Little beat her repeatedly in the head before strangling her and leaving her in a dumpster behind a nightclub.
Just disrespectful deaths too.
I mean, he just didn't even care where he left anybody. They were like, even later when they start asking him questions like, oh, where did you leave this body? Where did you leave this body? I think I just left it out somewhere. I remember there was a fence.
He was so disrespectful towards women.
He's a psychopath. Then there ended up being a third. Her name was Carol Alford. She was 41. She was found in July 1987 in an alley in LA. She was strangled to death, and she had wounds on her head as well, blunt force trauma. He was starting to do that too, where he would start to hit them repeatedly over the head. And I think those are the ones that fought too. Because at that point he was just fighting people, and he was like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna knock you upside your head, knock you out real quick, and then he would strangle them, which kind of to me makes him a little bit of a necrophiliac if he is strangling and then raping them because they're already dead.
I thought he wasn't strangling them until they died, though. I thought he would stop strangling them when they weren't breathing.
It depends, because with certain victims he would strangle them till they stop breathing, let them get breath back. Which I had another case that did that, where the guy would strangle, wait till they got breath back, strangle him again, wait till they got breath back, just to keep, it's almost like you keep reviving them, and then they wake up and they think that they're alive, and only for you to try to kill them again. Ugh. It's such a evil thing to do.
Not to mention the amount of brain cells and oxygen you lose
keep
to
losing
your brain.
It. Yeah. I mean, I think at some point you will start to pass out, even if you are breathing, Yeah,
you got to be, because there's no oxygen getting to your brain anymore.
So Little was located in 2012 after he used his...
He's not hard to find.
He used his Social Security ATM card
Because he'd been getting away with it for 30 years.
Exactly. And he was picked up in a homeless shelter in Louisville, Kentucky. Because at this point, he was, transient.
Outside of a fucking KFC.
But he got picked up for drugs.
Okay. So that's good, I guess.
Because 5 years before, in 2007, he was arrested for cocaine possession and he pled guilty. But he failed to appear to court because he was supposed to do a court-ordered rehabilitation. He failed to appear. And so the court was like, all right, bench warrant. We need him. We want him for his arrest. And it took them 5 years to find him.
He's honestly been begging to get arrested.
Yeah. I mean, and now he's so old that he's starting to slow down. That's the thing.
Because he doesn't care anymore, it feels like.
Yeah. He probably was like, it's probably time for me to just go ahead and get arrested.
Oh my
once and for all.
God. If I use my Costco card at the ATM, will they catch me? Will they just think I'm an old senile man? Or will they actually arrest me?
Or pull a BTK and be like, if I send you a purple floppy disk.
Right. He's like, do I need to go Kevin Spacey in 7? Do I need to send someone's girlfriend's head to a crime scene?
Oh my God. And meanwhile, Kevin Spacey showed up in Epstein files.
Kevin Spacey has also shown up in other parts of the country, in different countries, doing, what was it? He's doing Frank Sinatra tunes on stage.
Oh, he's getting work there because they say he is broke.
He's homeless.
Yeah.
But he's in Italy doing Frank Sinatra shows, cosplay.
I mean, you got to get it how you get it.
$35.
Yeah, it is what it is. That's what he gets for being a pervert.
I mean, that's what happens when you're a pervert and a douchebag, apparently.
Yeah, I heard he was awful.
I heard he was terrible, but most perverts are awful.
Yeah, true. So after his 2012 arrest, he was extradited to LA to be officially charged in 2013.
He's like, oh, finally.
Oh, God, I can just rest.
He just missed his bottom.
Right. He's like, where's Betty? In Mississippi, LaPree's murder was reopened and Little was tested all over the place for different murders because, of course, they running him through the system. He was tried in 2014 and he was found guilty and sentenced to life without parole. He, of course, claimed that he didn't do anything, which is be fucking for real. Yes, you did. And he claimed that the evidence was fake, which also be for real.
You left so much evidence everywhere.
You've committed 270,000 crimes and you're like, this is fake. This is fake news.
Bro, you just use your credit card at the ATM thinking it'd work.
Right.
Of course, I'm sure you left some evidence somewhere.
What a lame. Now, fast forward to 2018. 2018.
A couple years ago, by the way.
Yeah. Odessa, Texas reopened the Denise Christie brothers case because Sam Little was finally in prison for life. And once he couldn't walk anymore, they were like, okay, he ain't going nowhere. So this is
we can take him now.
This is a good time to have a conversation. We need to ask him questions that we've never been able to ask him before. So investigators, they sat him down. The Texas Rangers began reviewing unsolved strangulation cases that matched Little's between 1970 and 2005. That's 35 years, particularly for women of ill repute. So they really didn't have the tools in 1994. So when they looked at the brothers' case, the overlap was undeniable. They decided we need to talk to Little. And so Texas Ranger James Holland was the lead investigator to conduct the interviews. James Holland had a special technique. He didn't accuse, he didn't threaten or challenge. He just showed no visible disgust. He was like, we just two people talking. He remained calm and he was more about conversation like a friend. And so finally, Little said, if I told you my story, they would put me under the gas chamber.
Okay. What's the problem?
And I'm going to pay. I'm not paying for anything. I'm going to play a clip of the interrogation.
Tell me about Mary Ann.
She's what you nowadays they call a transgender.
She's a black male dressed up as a female. Okay. How tall is she?
Mary Ann's about 5'7", 5'6". She weighed about 135.
Okay.
Maybe 140.
And how old do you think she was?
But she was 19.
Okay. And where was she from?
No, Miami, down in Liberty City.
Okay. And you mentioned before she had a boyfriend, or she talked about a boyfriend?
Named Wes.
Wes?
Yeah.
And tell me about where you met her at.
I seen her down at the Guar on 17th Avenue, and she had on a short cream miniskirt. The cream and the red. So then this opportunity popped up. Take her to the store.
Right.
Instead of me bringing her back to the apartment, I went down 27th Street. That's going down to Fort Lauderdale, called the Alligator Alley. It runs in the Alligator Alley.
Right.
But the further out you get, the further you get out of Miami.
Right.
And you got vegetation there.
Now, how far outside of Miami do you think you were?
About. It wasn't too far out of Miami. It's about that. I was in my stepdad's car, Pontiac, Le Mans.
Now, where did you take her to?
Continue down 27. Got back on 27.
Going outside of Miami. Okay.
Miami.
Going away from Miami.
Going away from Miami. We got down past the let's say limits. So I continued on toward Fort Lauderdale, and I seen a road going off the main road back into vegetation on the left side. So I got her out of the car, pulled her out, and drug her into the growth back there. And pulled her deeper into there's a path. A little path was running somewhere. I don't know where it led it to, but it was running deeper into the undergrowth. It's like Everglades like that. And we ran into some water running. But before we got to the water, the earth was mushy. I turned her loose, and she fell into it face down.
And how far outside of Miami do you think you were?
About a mile, 2 miles.
What year did Marianne occur?
72.
Okay, 1972.
Now, he felt like this method was the most effective. It managed the perpetrator's egos. He knew that handling Little like this would keep him from shutting down. And the Texas Rangers got Sam Little to talk this way. The FBI helped organize what he had. VICAP, which stands for the Violent Criminal Apprehension Program. It is basically a FBI-run national database that is designed to link violent crimes that might be committed by the same offender, especially when these crimes cross city or state lines, because basically VICAP is supposed to help police departments realize, hey, this murder in Ohio looks a lot like the one that happened in Florida.
I thought the people that were hired for the job were supposed to be doing that.
What you mean?
Like, I thought that's what the police in that county are doing.
Oh, yeah, but the FBI, so the county can only handle the county. The state can only handle the state. But if he moved as much as he moved, they needed to check the cases across state lines. And the only person that can do that, only group that can do that is the FBI. Because that's the federal government. They can move with across state lines freely because they are over the whole country.
Okay.
So VICAP, it's FBI run. And Little basically confessed to killing Denise Christie brothers and provided location-specific details, methods that were consistent with his known behavior, and information investigators believed that only the killer would know. The key was he used environmental cues, like what kind of bar was it? Or where were you living then? These types of things triggered the memories that would give him the extra details. Like if you were to talk to me and you were to say, did you date such and such, or did you go somewhere? And I'm like, you know what? I was in Hyde Park. I remember I was in Hyde Park. It starts with the location. Debo's here.
It's Luna.
So starts with
Hi,
the location. Mama. It always starts with the location. Come on, Bear.
She just woke up.
Don't pull out that cord.
She just woke up from her nap. I'm not.
She had a mini nap. Okay, so she is 270 pounds sitting on your lap looking crazy. That's like me sitting on your lap.
A giant dinosaur.
All right, so he would be transferred to Texas. He went to Wise County Jail. And as part of the negotiations with the investigator, they said, hey, we're going to take the death penalty off the table if you tell us what you know, but you got to keep talking. You got to tell us what you know. And by mid-2018, Little started confessing. So much so that he was able to provide a list of every car he drove. That triggered his memories. He was also able to remember the murders in unimaginable detail. And he was able to actually give an obscene amount of detail to the victims and include the states and the number of murders in each state or the city. So he would say things like, Louisiana, there were 3. Houston, there were 4. Chicago, well, he never came to Chicago, but he'd go such and such Illinois, there was 6. Pascagoula, Mississippi, there were 4. He knew all of them. So they would eventually tally it up. But another thing that he was able to do is he was able to draw with artist-like precision the faces of the women that he murdered, which they were very alarmed by this because they were like, he is 78 years old.
He ain't been doing nothing else.
He ain't been doing nothing else, but that also just goes to show how disgusting he is that he remembers in that detail. He confessed to Texas, then Mississippi, then Florida, but Little then confessed to dozens more. And they asked Little to draw his victims, and he was like, all right, cool. He could literally draw from memory. That November in 2018, he confessed to Melissa Thomas in Louisiana in 1996. She was not a prostitute. She had left her mother's house to go buy some cigarettes, and her body was later found in a cemetery with scratches on her neck. Then there was Brenda Alexander in Alabama. There was Fredonia Smith in Georgia. There was Dorothy Richardson. There was Daisy McGuire in Louisiana. There was Julia Critchfield, Nancy Carol Stevens in Mississippi, Evelyn Weston in South Carolina, Rosie Hill in Florida. 34 of the confessions were confirmed by searching through the newspaper archives to find details that Little had shared with Holland. And what's crazy about that is when you watch the documentary, because they have the sound from the interrogation, he would literally be like, yeah, I remember her because they wrote an article and they were talking about how blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. They would have to go to the news archive, newspaper.com, find the article that connected to what he said. And that's how they were connecting the bodies. That's how they were able to confirm the bodies. Because at some point, it's like, we don't have DNA for this case, so we can't connect it. But what does he remember?
Yeah.
So and at the same time, they had to acknowledge that, again, serial killers be just claiming bodies.
Yeah.
They're like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, they'll start claiming bodies just to make themselves feel good. So at the same time, they were like, there's a possibility it's not as many as he's saying that it is. But his memory is pretty good. So we need to take advantage of this because he's old. So by December 2018, Little pled guilty and received another life sentence plus some. Linda Sue Boards in Kentucky, Martha Cunningham in Tennessee, and several were unidentified. In 2019, Mary Jo Payton, Anna Stewart, and Rose Stevens of Ohio, and several more in Ohio that were unidentified. And then in 2020, 2 in Florida unidentified, and 1 involved a wrongful conviction of another man.
Oh.
So then 2022, mind you, Zena Marie Jones in Tennessee was verified by one of Little's sketches. And mind you, Little had died by December 30th, 2020 in the California Department of Corrections. He was old. He was unhealthy. He apparently had diabetes, heart problems.
Just died.
Very much so.
Wow.
And which is crazy because I do remember when the news articles were coming out in dribs and drabs and they were like, oh, another Sam Little connection, another Sam Little connection. I was like, who is this old ass nigga killing all these people? And what's crazy is I did see the documentary, but I never watched it. And somebody had hit me up on Instagram a few years back, like, oh, you should definitely do an episode on Sam Little. And I was just like, oh my God, it's not done yet. It's not done yet.
It's in the drafts.
So the FBI confirmed dozens, right? But they never not every confession resulted in charges, right? Like they had to get as much out of him before he passed away, which by the way, they never listed his cause of death, but he did have diabetes, heart problems, and other health issues. You know, it could have been COVID. It was 2022. It was 2020. I'm sorry. It could have been COVID.
Oh, it was just old age. He was like 1,000.
He was 78. I mean, even though he was a psychopath, he probably wasn't all that stressed.
Well, yeah.
Now, and speaking of that, Sam's psychology, according to Jillian Lauren, the author of the book, was like talking. She said it was like talking to three different people. She said the three different people, three identities that she would identify: 3-card Monty, Snake Monster, and Perv Grandpa.
Perv Grandpa
So-
is disgusting.
3-card Monty was more of a trick. He was the street con designed for you to never win, so you play anyway, right? That's why she called him that. Then there was the Snake Monster. That was the killer. When he would click on, which only he clicked on a few times, but she said when he did, it scared the hell out of her. She was like, uh-oh. Then there was Perv Grandpa, who he probably really was. He was creepy, he was mischievous, and he was a pervert. She said he's kind of like the grandpa who wants to tell you a story, but you got to sit on his lap first.
Ooh. That's the scariest one to me.
That's so disgusting.
I can handle
because you don't like old people.
I don't like old people. I have had that issue for a long time.
You know, say you don't like old people. I mean, even though pervy old people are creepy. That's just disgusting.
It's all, give me some
all
sugar.
of that shouldn't even, yeah, oh, that's disgusting.
Like,
Yeah.
why would you say that?
Like
to
your body shouldn't even like low key be working still.
me?
You
Talking
know?
about sugar.
Yeah, your granddad used to do that. It used to annoy me. He wasn't like creepy.
I
with
wonder
it, but
if
he
that's
used to
when
do
I
it.
stopped liking old people. Low key, that was my villain origin story. Like, y'all will rule the day. That and when my friend Maggie told me she got into a car accident because this old lady ran the light and she said the light was orange. Ever since then, I was like, yeah, it's time for y'all downfall.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Just never again.
You're going down, brother.
You are going down, brother. You cannot see lights when you drive.
She's like orange. It's like
I was like, but that's not even a part
That's
of the
a-
color
that's
selection
a
of the light.
hybrid of yellow and red. They were mixed.
If you see an orange, you're not seeing the lights
No,
of the street light.
you seeing a different light. Maybe it's from
Spots.
medication.
From mesothelioma.
Yeah, something was
And in this
going
TED
on there.
Talk, I will
Something-
continue to talk about why old people should not drive.
Yeah, they shouldn't. They shouldn't. Honestly, and I've said this before, I feel like we can think that, but we also need the resources to take care of old people so they don't have to drive.
It's not their fault
No, it's
that they're
not.
driving.
No, they shouldn't have
Like,
to.
they have to get around somewhere, but I don't like them pace buses either. Because one of them hit me and blamed it on me. And then he fled the scene. And I was really like, oh, now I really can't take y'all.
He was like, I got to get Agatha to her.
The bus was empty.
Oh my God.
I was like, oh my God. 6 months later,
So
my
you-
insurance is like,
I'm noticing a pattern here that
that I have every reason
that
to
you
plan their
that
demise.
You got old people trauma. You got repeated accounts of how you've been wronged by old
And
people.
people just be like, I don't understand why you don't like the elderly. And I'm like, what do you mean? They have it out for me. Every day they plotting against
You
me.
like the elderly are the ops.
The elderly they're not the future.
Yeah, they're not literally.
Truly not.
Yeah. Okay, so that's messed up. Sorry for any old people listening. Now,
I mean, don't drive.
Well, yeah, well, that I mean, by old, we mean like old, you
Like
know,
creepy old, like
creepy, mischievous, pervert.
over
Perfect grandpa.
50.
Perfect grandpa.
Over 50, depending on the gender.
Me and Mama went to Pancho Pistola, and there was this like Mexican granddad who thought he was fly. He had on a leather vest, which I'm like, did you come here on a motorcycle? He had on a tan leather vest and some cowboy boots. He was Mexican,
First of all, that's out of season.
and it was cold. It was cold that day, and he kept hitting on the waitress, and he was like in her face and leaning on the counter. My mom was like, he still think he a Mac Daddy from 1972.
Mind you, Pancho Pistola is like the Mexican Hooters.
It is. What? I wouldn't say that.
It is.
I wouldn't say Hooters. That's a chain. Pancho's is not a chain.
Is it not?
No, I think there's
Okay,
only one location.
well,
or maybe two.
like
I would say Pancho Pistola is just a taqueria. It's just an independent taqueria.
it feels
it's
more
nothing
fast
fancy.
foody than just the regular taqueria to me.
I feel like every taqueria is fast food.
Oh, that's true.
They make them tacos quick. You as soon as you sit down, your order be up.
Like Los Camales feels way slower. Like they don't feel like fast food to me, even though they are.
Yeah, I remember you could still get a $3 taco from them. That was wild.
Shit.
I mean,
You can't even go there past midnight now. You definitely not getting no $3 tacos.
Yeah, they used to be open till like 2.
Not any longer.
Yeah, COVID tore them up too.
COVID tore everything up.
Facts. Now, back to this. She felt that he could easily have DID. DID is a dissociative identity disorder. It used to be called multiple personality disorder. It's a trauma-based dissociative condition where one person has 2 or more distinct identity states, often called parts or alters, that take turns being in control, like Split, along with memory gaps that can't be explained by normal forgetfulness. Remember I told you about that girl on TikTok who had DID and she literally got upset because one of her identities was new and it showed up and it was not making itself known to the other identities.
Yikes.
And it was
I do remember you saying
it was
that.
not passing on the information from one. So she was missing time.
Mhm.
She was getting very upset because she felt like she didn't know what that identity was doing. She was explaining and she was saying that it's almost like passing the baton. You got to be like, okay, Frank, this is what I've been doing all day. So Samantha can start. And if you don't pass the baton, that whole time that Frank was busy, you don't know what happened. So she was starting to feel worried because it was also a new identity, one that she was not aware of. She was like, I don't know, this person could be dangerous.
Yeah.
You know, so that's how they dissociate from it completely, because to them, it's a totally different person from who they are. And it's really scary when you watch those videos of people experiencing that, because, you know, that's sad to have that.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah. But you have to also form, from what I've learned, you have to form a relationship with all these different identities. You have to be like, okay, Janice, fine. When we're at work, do X, Y, and Z. You know, you got to,
well, yeah.
You kind of got to be the identity state that controls the other ones. And that takes so much energy.
Well, yeah, you got to have like a connection with each one, being like, when are you here? Especially to name them.
Yeah.
It's
almost well, they name themselves.
Ugh.
You know, they name themselves.
That's
like
even
one
worse.
lady, I saw a video and she was talking to this dude in the park, and I can't remember the other one, but the other one, I can't remember her name, but let's say the other one was Samantha and her name was Kate. You know, Samantha was kind of snarky. And so Kate was super nice. Samantha was kind of a douche. And so Samantha would kick in and she would just, it was like a light switch. It was a totally different person, different mannerisms, different everything. It would start talking. And then the guy that she was talking to, the interviewer, was like, is this Samantha? And she'd be like, well, who do you think it is? You know, she would have a totally different vibe from Kate.
Yeah.
Then Kate would kick back on and then Kate would be like, I'm so sorry. Like, Samantha, you gotta relax.
Okay,
You
Samantha.
need to relax. You know, like, sorry, Samantha can be like that sometimes. Like, that's the way they have to do it. And it is so scary to think about, like, trying to move through your life like that.
Yeah.
Especially when you have more than one.
Yeah.
Like, when you got like 5. Like, what are you doing?
Or like 10.
Yeah.
Like, where do they go?
Like, when you see the movie Split and you see how he manages them, and then he's got this one that's like the Hulk.
Yeah, because
Like-
after like 7 or 8, they turn into like one overly strong personality.
Yeah. Yep. It's like a mixture of a bunch of different ego or a bunch of different identities that's just stronger than all the other ones, that doesn't pass the baton, that holds on to the body for too long, that starts to suppress the normal person to the point where
And takes
they're
over all the personalities,
Mm-mm.
and is usually a psycho,
Yep.
like a deeper psycho than the rest,
Yeah.
and usually like a cannibal,
Oh, and then you're not sharing. You're not a cannibal. Why a cannibal?
because they just like turn into that animal side,
Oh,
that
yeah.
animalistic side, where they're like too deeply embedded into
the carnal nature. Yeah. Which is funny that you mentioned that, because she was saying that he wasn't a person at all. He was driven by the id, which I don't remember if I talked about that on an episode with you or not. I know I talked about it with Sal before, but this was a Sigmund Freud structural model. I learned it in abnormal psychology when I was in college too. It's a model of the psyche, which is an early attempt to explain how humans want things, how they feel guilty, how how they feel guilty about wanting them, and then they do them anyway. So there are three. It's the id, the ego, and the superego. The id is who's present at birth. It's unconscious, it's pleasure seeking, there are no morals, it's impulsive, i.e., I want it now. I want it now. The ego is, I don't want to ruin anybody's life, so let me operate in reality. That's the ego. The superego is, I'm not doing it at all. That is where morals, social norms, culture, religion, guilt, that's where that comes into play. And Little was driven by the id, the I want it now, the pleasure seeking, the unconscious, the no morals, the animal. That's who he was driven by. This was her observation, though. This wasn't a diagnosis, and I didn't really see where anybody had truly diagnosed him. He was a psychopath. I think we can all agree with that. Yeah. And a sexual sadist. I think we can all agree with that. But it's also believed that he had antisocial personality disorder. The repeated sexual arousal from strangulation is sadistic. Taking someone's breath and then like giving it back while you masturbate, sadistic. And the obsession with the sound of the hyoid bone snapping.
Ugh.
He mentions this. He said, it sounds like the wishbone game. The wishbone game is basically when you take a wishbone from a chicken and, the little U-shaped wishbone, and you make a wish, and just like on a count of 3 or whatever you decide to do, you break it.
But somebody got to have the other side.
Somebody got to have a bigger piece. So the irony is that only one side gets what it wants in the game. That's just what it is. So whoever has the bigger one gets their wish, has their wish come true. To him, the hyoid bone breaking sound like that snap of the bone from a wishbone. I was like
a game.
All sadistic.
Okay.
Oops. I was too loud. All sadistic. All very, very sadistic. So this man has a rap sheet over 100 pages long, dating back to the 1950s. We're talking about 5 years after analysts with the FBI's VCAP began connecting cases for Sam Little, and almost 18 months after James Holland successfully got Little to confess. The FBI officially confirmed that Little is the most prolific serial killer in U.S. history. They were like, he just is. Little confessed to 93 murders after giving this old bastard a bag of peanut M&Ms and some crayons.
Basically, because he's been alive for forever.
Basically. So, I didn't think peanut M&Ms were that great that you start confessing murders, but maybe he wanted
I kind of get it.
Maybe he wanted to get some stuff off his chest.
If you give me a Reese's, I will say anything you need
exactly.
me to say.
So, law enforcement have verified 50 of those cases, with dozens more that are still needing to be confirmed. So from the drawings, they were able to verify at least one, which was a case in Akron, Ohio. And according to Little, he strangled his victims between 1970 and 2005, 35 years. Many of those deaths were originally classified as overdoses, accidents, or deaths of undetermined cause. And in some cases, the victims' bodies were never recovered. So, he says 93. It's probably more. For many years, Sam Little believed that he would never be caught because he thought no one was tracking his victims.
They weren't.
This was the VICAP crime analyst, Christy Palazzolo. The FBI is still asking for the public's help in identifying the victims connected to Little's remaining unconfirmed confessions, and anyone with information related to Sam Little's confessions is encouraged to contact the FBI or to submit a tip on the tips.fbi.gov website for whatever that's worth, because, under this administration, the FBI sucks. Maybe wait 3 years. It's already been
Give it a minute.
It's already been 40. Might as well wait 3 years. So that was the story of Mr. Sam Little, nay McDowell.
Shout out to him for making it that long.
Man,
he basically turned himself in.
Yeah, he kind of just was like,
detective.
Now, I will
That's
say
what that was.
this was gross. This was gross. When they were interrogating that man, he was still getting erection.
Ew.
He was still getting erection. They said they noticed on the interrogation tape where he was like during the recall of some of these cases, he was rubbing his penis.
He was a bit too healthy. That's one of them old people that needed to just die. Like, some of them can't stick around for forever.
This nigga just said he was a bit too healthy.
He was. It's like, what do you mean you 70 to 80?
And still having erection. Well, who knows? He may have had access to, what do you call it? God damn it. What is it called? Not Vicodin.
Oh, Viagra?
Viagra. He may have still had access to Viagra.
Yeah, considering he creepy grandpa, but then part of me just feels like he's just creepy grandpa.
Sure. I mean, he is definitely
Didn't
creepy.
he go live in Florida at one point? He probably had a nonstop
Girl,
prescription to Viagra.
He lived everywhere. And here's the thing. Obviously, there are 93 victims. I had to literally cherry pick which ones I was going to give detail on because there are so many. There are so many. Like, I read the book and I was like, oh my God.
Well, he didn't think they were tracking him.
He didn't understand the advancements in science either. He didn't know. There were some instances where, even some of the surviving victims were like, damn, I didn't even know that they collected my DNA. They were just holding on to stuff. So it wasn't even a matter of like DNA collection. It was like, I don't know, we got an old pair of panties in here. Maybe we should check,
Meanwhile, he catching flights.
And for him, right. And in his opinion, he was more like, I mean, just because my panties are there, my DNA is there, doesn't mean I killed anybody. Well, here's the thing. You have been notoriously strangling people. These women are not even just showing up raped, because not all of them were raped. You're also just strangling people. And it just so happens that where you are, women die. So either you, Jessica
That is not
Fletcher,
just a pattern.
Either you, Jessica Fletcher, and crimes just happen where you are. Or
well,
you
she was
doing
committing
it.
those crimes.
I mean, Jessica Fletcher is actually
she is the biggest killer in America. She's got that title.
Because
she's the John Cena of murder.
And how many cousins you got? Like, how many cousins do you have? Because, I feel like every city, every state, she had a nephew, a niece, a cousin, somebody. Like, she got the biggest family in the world.
Maybe it's just like cousin.
Nah, they don't do that. White people don't do that.
I didn't think so, but shit. They can't all be related to her. Like, at some point, you gotta be like, okay, when does the Christmas list end?
Like, seriously. Like, she be just showing up and people just be related to her. I'm like,
and then they die.
Oh my God.
Or someone around them dies.
Yeah. So
Brady just had terrible relationships. Nobody around him was really dying.
Yeah.
She just ruined all of his marriages.
I was about to say, wasn't he a loser?
He was an accountant or a lawyer or something like that. And he would always get engaged. And they just didn't work.
Yeah.
Blame Jessica.
I mean, there's that. Anyway. So there's Sam Little. And
That's
I
enough
hope
of his ass.
Yeah, I'm done. Hope you enjoyed it. And if you didn't, it is what it is because it's happening. So
what a closing statement.
It is. It's a douchey thing to do. I talked about this very briefly. I'm planning on making a little more content on current events. So I'm hoping to start hopping on the pod. I got an idea for I Swear to Drunk I'm Not God sober takes. They're basically going to be me reacting to shit that happens in the world.
Oh, great.
And
just witness her setting her apartment on fire.
Basically, I also have an episode queued up that I just haven't decided if I was going to release because it was kind of erratic and all over the place. I was like, there's no structure to this. But
whatever.
I'm also just not used to that. So, but I'll let you know.
Taurus with no structure.
I know, it scares me. But all right, y'all. I'm going to check y'all. Merry Christmas, by the way.
Happy
this drops
Christmas.
on the 25th. So enjoy. Enjoy Sam Little
Shout
on
out
this
to
Christmas
Santa.
Day.
I've retired.
Tiny Sam. All right. Peace.
Bye.